Hey everybody, happy Friday. It's Jamin with Keene Point of View, the intersection of gay issues, politics, and Christianity. This week in news has been worse than last week. I thought last week was busy, but my goodness, this week in news, you go home, you're drunk. Let's get to it. America is Still Racist, Part 1. Paula Deen. Paula Deen has been dropped by Smithfield, Target, QVC, and even Walmart. The embodiment of Satan as a corporation. So when they drop you, just how evil is she? And I found out that the person who sued her is apparently white, so you know she's guilty as a mug. I don't really think that she's being mean when she says racist things. It's just that she's coming off to this as really oblivious. She's really Ray Charles to her racism. So I need someone to sit her down and explain to her how she's racist and how the things that she says are racist. America is Still Racist Part 2. In the George Zimmerman trial, Rachel Jeantel, she is the last person who heard Trayvon Martin alive, and she testified in the George Zimmerman trial. And she said that Trayvon referred to Zimmerman as a racist word that many minorities use for white people that begins with a C and is a food item as well as a carbohydrate. White people took to Twitter to say that that's just as bad as using the N-word, and I would like to know how that's just as bad as using the N-word when the C word has never been used to denigrate an entire group of people who were forced into slavery and then oppressed thereafter. White people, you will be a minority by the year 2050. Just let that come and then tackle racism against you at that time. Don't try to rush this thing. Believe me, you don't want to rush it, okay? America is Still Racist Part 3. The Supreme Court overturned Section 4 of the Voting Rights Act. They stated that it was no longer necessary because apparently racism is a thing of the past. America is Racist Part 5. Every Senate Democrat and some Republicans in the Senate passed immigration reform. However, it's going to the House. The House said that they're not going to vote on the Senate bill, that they're going to focus on their own version of the bill, which is very partisan and GOP-led, and it has none of the bipartisanship that the Senate bill had. And since the House GOP is doing their own thing with it, we will continue to watch the GOP turn into racist, bigots, and intolerant people. If that's what they want to do on their way to the grave, have at it. Also, America is dumb. On Twitter this week, Lolo Jones. If you're not familiar with who Lolo Jones is, go ahead and Google Olympic athletes who get all press attention because they're of mixed race and claim to be a virgin at 30 and therefore make men lust after them because of their good looks and virginity, and come in 414th place at the London Olympics, basically just getting a free trip to London. That would be Lolo Jones. Tweeted about Rachel Jeantel, Trayvon Martin's friend, who was testifying. She said that she's so angry during her testimony and so mad that she's going to make a DVD of it and call it Medea Goes to Jail. And then someone tweeted Lolo's address, which is completely wrong and inappropriate and tacky and messy, which you should not do because that was just wrong. But it's really not helpful for Lolo either because it's clear that she cannot outrun any attacker after her. In other dumb American news, swing low, sweet chariot coming. New England Patriots Aaron Hernandez was arrested and charged with first-degree murder for a guy who, quote, violated his trust. I'm sure this has nothing to do with DL gay sex. I'm sure. In political and gay news, the Supreme Court did something right this week after saying goodbye to racial fairness and hello to corporations being able to screw you over even more with your employment. They decided that the Defense of Marriage Act was unconstitutional by a decision of 5-4, and also Proposition 8 in California was remanded to the appellate court's decision in California, which overturned Proposition 8, meaning that gay people in California can now get married, which they will probably resume doing in the summer. So that's a huge step forward, and I congratulate the Supreme Court on a job well done there for fairness. But then we're back to dumb Americans again from Kansas, and also Christian reactions, such as the calling for a day of prayer to get on your knees and pray for the nation June 30th. Now, why weren't you praying all this time? That's my question. I'll just say this to Christians. This is an excellent opportunity to get to know some people and pursue hearts within a group with whom you've had horrible history and are treated terribly throughout the years. Now, if we're looking at marriage biblically, I'll allow that to a certain point because, you know, you have a source, what you're depending on in defining marriage, as far as your power goes at the voting polls. However, we have separation of church and state, and we're not run biblically in this country, thank God. because none of us would be able to survive. And because we have marriage and that you allow people of different faiths or no faith to get married, you have people getting married for all the wrong reasons, and you still allow them to get married and you have them call it marriage. You have people who have open marriages. You have people who have condoned affairs or agreements, and you allow them to get married and they're still married, and you consider them married under the law and according to your own beliefs. And your own marriage is not biblically sound, because I guarantee you that you are not loving your spouse completely as Christ loves you 100% of the time, which is what you're supposed to do. But God still says you're married, allows you to have it. Why can't you extend that same grace to two people who are consenting adults who may be the same sex and they want to get married, to ensure that they have benefits and everything else that you have in your marriage? This is not the time, people, to make a federal marriage amendment which would ban gay marriage, which, hello, the Supreme Court just overturned essentially with DOMA. This is stupid. Also, I'll allow you to use the Bible to defend yourself to a certain point. Like I said, it's problematic. However, if you're not using the Bible and you're just claiming the name of tradition for marriage, that it needs to be between a man and a woman, I'm sorry, you are a bigot, you are hate-filled, and I will celebrate your eventual sweeping into the dustbin of history to be long forgotten, and I cannot wait for that day, and I hope it comes quickly. In closing, once again, this is Jamin with Keene Point of View, the intersection of gay issues, politics, and Christianity. Go ahead and check out the blog this week, KeenePointOfView.com. I blogged about the Supreme Court and the Voting Rights Act, as well as Rachel Gentile, Trayvon Martin's friend, who testified. I called her a worthwhile friend and an honest and good friend to Trayvon. Once again, happy Friday, happy weekend, happy Gay Pride New York and San Francisco. I know it's going to be off the hook, but don't go crazy, but have fun. Also, tell your friends about my blog and my vlog, and subscribe to my YouTube channel here. My links to my Twitter, my website, and my Facebook page are below. Thank you for watching, and take care.